Morning, guys. You know, I made a video the other day telling a story about how a husband didn't go to a baby shower that his wife was hosting for her family because she was having weird dreams prior to the baby shower where the husband died and someone tried kidnapping their son at the shower. And I had said that the husband decided that he'd take the son and they'd go do something while the shower was going on. And that when he came back, everyone was gone. He had a meatball and had the worst headache of his life. And you can refer to the rest of that video if you want to watch and fill in on that. But I didn't tell you guys what the father and the son did during the about 4 or 5 hours while that shower was going on. And so I figured I'll fill you in on that. And this message can tie into it could tie into a lot of things. How God protects, sure. How children have the most powerful minds. And how God will use many different things to give you messages, to give you foresight, intuition. All right. So the man decides not to stay at the baby shower, even though he'd done all this work, cleaning it up, setting it up, repainted the bathroom. He decided it was best if him and the son didn't stay because he didn't feel like it was going to be safe. So they did. And moments before they left, he got a weird message on his phone. It was a video reel through Facebook. And it was somebody saying, "You should probably travel in silence," in the video. He was one of those card readers. Now, he hadn't been getting a lot of those videos beforehand. It was kind of a recent thing. They started just popping up. And given all these weird dreams that his wife was having, and these memories that were coming back, he decided he was gonna look into that, think about it, and he took it as word that maybe he should ride without his phone. He plays music from his phone through the car. He thought maybe that's what it meant by riding in silence. So he left his phone at home. And they ride off. The dad and the boy. And most of what they do is just drive around town. They just go on a big car ride. But after about 2.5 hours of doing that, he decides they need to take a break. The boy needs to go play, go to the bathroom, stuff like that. So they go to a park. And the park they go to is, it's got like a water park in it. It's a pretty cool park. Really cool park in town. It's across the street or down the road from a church that has like a triangle and cross symbol in it. And anyway, they decided to go to this park so that the boy could play. There's public bathrooms there. It'd be a good time to, just hang out till the party's over. because really they just have to find something to do to kill this time. And they pull into this park, and he notices that there's a truck that kind of slowly is following him as he pulls in. Now, he didn't really think too much of it, but he notices it, and he keeps riding to go find his parking space. But then he notices something else. Right after this truck is creeping behind him, following him, a cop, a city police officer, starts following that truck. And as the man pulls to find his parking space, the truck that was following him keeps going. Doing its own thing, I guess. But the cop's following that truck. Now, it doesn't turn into like a high-speed chase, but the truck isn't pulling over. The truck's kind of just riding around the parking lot, almost as if like he doesn't see the cop. Cop starts putting on his sirens then. Puts the lights on and the siren. But the truck keeps riding. Well, the husband found that was kind of weird. But he's there to play with the boy. So he tried not to think too much about it. And he unbuckles the boy out of his car seat and takes him to the little toddler play area of that park. And when he gets there, he sees a young family there with their kids. They're playing. And so he lets his boy play with them a little bit, while he supervises his son. And he notices this family keeps looking at him and then looking at the phone. Like their phone. Like they'll go like that, and then they'll look at him. And they'll look at the phone. And they'll look at him. So he makes a little bit of casual conversation with them. And, they're a little odd. I didn't really think too much of it, though. They're just, I guess, a little odd. They did say, it was weird. They kind of said some things that were just kind of coincidences. But, whatever. It was just odd. But the weird thing, though, all of a sudden, all of these police cars start coming in and flooding in the park. I'm talking about the whole 9 yards. City cops, sheriff, state patrol, and even the feds coming in with their lights on. And I mean hot. And they're all going to the back of the park where that truck crept off to. Husband notices this. Stays calm. He's got his son there. And he just, is aware. And he lets his son play for a little bit. And then eventually he gets this feeling that it's probably time we should go. We probably need to find another place to hang out. So he gets his boy, puts him in the car, buckles him up. By then, it's been about like 3.5 hours since they've been totally gone. And the party was only supposed to last 3 hours. So he's thinking, hey, hopefully they'll be done. They should be done soon, right? And he gets in and buckles up the car, or buckles his son up in the car. And he gets in the driver's seat, puts on his seatbelt, and he looks at his son and he goes, well, what do you want to do, buddy? The son goes, party? Party? He's saying he wants to go back. He wants to go to the party. He wants to go home. Usually a son always wants to keep out playing. Well, the husband goes, well, Maybe that's a sign we should go back home. Party should be over. We'll go back home and eat some of that catering that we paid some money for. He pulls out and drives on home. And as the man's pulling into the neighborhood, he notices one of the guests down the road, down the street in the neighborhood, with one of their dogs. She's walking one of the dogs. The oldest dog, littlest dog. Really one of the dogs that the wife had before they even got together. One the husband inherited. Anyway, he stops the car and he goes, "Hey, so-and-so, how you doing?" And she goes, "Oh, hey." And he goes, "Okay, you walking our dog, huh? I see." And she goes, "Oh, yeah, I had to smoke a cigarette. So I just, figured I'd kill two birds with one stone." She says it kind of seductively in a way. Man found that odd, the way her tone and mannerism was. And then all of a sudden, the man feels a shiver down his spine and just has this sense of, don't leave the dog with that woman. And he goes, "Okay, well, does my wife know you're walking our dog?" "Oh, yeah, she knows." He goes, "Okay." He then looks at the dog. And the dog's kind of like walking around in circles. Like dazed, kind of in a way. Like he almost doesn't seem like he's enjoying the walk. And now he knows this dog. This dog's old. He doesn't really walk as like he used to anymore. So he doesn't get out as much. Anyone with a senior dog ought to know what that's like. Now, the man starts to kind of second guess, and he's like, well, maybe I'm just thinking that this is, maybe I'm overthinking this. But then he gets another shiver, and he gets another thought that goes, no, don't leave that dog with her. And then he notices one thing. Where this woman is down the road, a good bit down the road from their house. And where all the guests are parked is right in front of their house. But her van is parked way down the road. Almost as if she took the van and drove it down the road for some reason. To walk the dog. After the man notices this, he definitely goes, you know what? I'm not second guessing my intuition again. And he gets out of the car, he puts the car in park, and he gets out and he goes, why don't you want to ride back? She said, no. And he says, well, I'm gonna take the dog. He picks up the little dog and grabs the leash, and he goes, I'm gonna go ahead and take him home. Thanks for trying, but I'm gonna take him back, okay? And she goes, she doesn't go anything. She doesn't say anything, but she doesn't want to let go of the leash. He notices that he's got to pull this thing. She's gripping onto that leash. She don't want to let it go. And he goes, give me my dog. And he tugs the leash, puts the dog in the car, and he drives down the road, and he notices that everyone at the party's still there. There's no sign of anybody leaving. They're still going on it, which is typical for that family. They always stay way longer than the scheduled time was. So he decides to keep on riding around. Eventually, he realizes, I have another dog. I've got a new dog that we just got. I need to somehow find a way to call my wife. So he drives to her place of employment. They're open on the weekends. So he says, I can meet somebody there and I can probably use the phone. My wife works there. They've seen me. They'll probably let me use a phone. And when he pulls up to her place of employment and talks to somebody, he ends up running into the owner's wife. She was kind enough to let him use her phone. So he calls his wife. And he says, I got your dog. I saw what's-her-face walking with him, and I just didn't get a good feeling about it, so I got him. Where's our other dog? She says, oh, he's here. I'm watching him. He said, okay, good. He said, when are they going? She said, I don't know. And he said, well, we're going to hang out a little bit longer, I guess, and find something to do. And we'll come back home, I guess, after a couple more hours. She goes, okay. And he lets her go and gets back to the car, and him and the boy and the dog go find something to do for another like 2 hours. And then you know the rest of the story. He comes home and has some of those meatballs. Guys, I tell that story to show an example of how God will send you messages. And he'll do it in all kind of ways. He'll use strangers, children, your intuition, your discernment. These are the ways Spirit speaks. Do you have the ears to hear? Do you have the eyes to see? You never know. You could be avoiding danger if you do. I thought it was funny how he said the little boy said something about going back to the party. Because I thought about something when I heard that. I realized, if you hadn't listened to your son, your little boy, who knows what had happened to that dog? And then I thought, they say the gift's hereditary. Y'all have a good day.